Hello there everybody, how's it going and how have you been? I am EuclideanSqd. We're back here in Duel Links. The Yummy Merrick event has ended and a new event has begun, but for now I'm staying on the title screen of the game because I wanted to show off a very kind of nice feature, to be honest, for those of us that are playing this game on the computer. And there's this new button down here, the screen settings button. With the click of this, you can now adjust the resolution size of the Duel Links window and toggle full screen on and off from in-game. Now, this seems like a very simple addition, but prior to version 2.6 for PC and computer and everything, the only way you could adjust this was by going into Steam, right-clicking Duel Links, clicking Properties, and basically using browse local files to find the game wherever Steam buries it deep in your computer's hard drive, and using an external configuration program that comes with it to adjust the window size. So this is actually a lot more convenient now. You don't have to rummage through your computer and find a little .exe file and open it up and all that nonsense. So I'm actually really excited about that, just because sometimes I will toggle in and out of full screen if I'm doing other things on my computer at the same time. But enough about that. The main purpose of today's video is to go over a couple of new things, in addition to the event that has just started, which in and of itself is new. So, with the end of the Yummy Merrick event, they have gone ahead and done a couple of things. First off, they have increased the character's level cap. Originally, you could only go up to level 40, but as of April 26th, all characters can now reach level 45. So basically, all the characters you have unlocked now have 5 extra things that you can get by leveling them up further. And for each one, they get the same pattern of 5 rewards. Level 41, they get another deck slot. Level 42, they get, I believe it's 100 gems. Level 43, you get 200 gems. Level 44, you get 250 gems. And then at level 45, you get another of their exclusive cards. Now that particular card will change depending on the Duelist, so I will go ahead and show that off in just a moment. But also to kind of facilitate the new level cap, as well as to help all those players who got Yummy Merrick for the first time, they have also started a 1.5 times experience campaign that will be lasting until May 1st. And exactly as the name implies, while this campaign is going on, you get 50% more experience from all the duels. So now, whenever you beat a standard duelist in a duel, you get 750 experience for your duelist instead of just 500. And that applies to everything. That applies to PvPs, that applies to dueling legendaries, that applies to the Vagabond, which can get really crazy if you happen to actually beat him. And, most importantly again, the multiplier is also applied to the amount of experience you get for losing a duel as well. So it's an all-around bonus. If you really need to level grind some of your characters, now's as good a time as any to do it. They've also started a new Pick a Gift campaign, which basically means that up until May 9th, every time you log into the game for the first time on that day, the game will give you your choice of 3 possible gifts to choose from. It could be gems, it could be gold, it could be keys, it could be rarity jewels. In fact, some of them have cards as an option. So if you're missing a copy of a specific kind of card, you can go ahead and pick that. If you happen to have all 3 copies, no big deal, just pick another prize. And let's see, we've got a new mini box on the way. It's going to be launching on April 30th, so look forward to an unboxing video when that drops, especially because I now have 8,000 gems, which, if the quick math in my head is correct, should be enough to open the entire box, but we'll see. And, perhaps most importantly, as I mentioned, we have a new event going on. This event is one of their Duelist Chronicles event, which I will be going over in more detail in just a moment, but the theme of it is the Battle City Finals from the 2nd season of the original Yu-Gi-Oh anime, you know, when they're all on the blimp dueling one another up in the stratosphere, because Kaiba's kind of a crazy person. But basically, the event works kind of similarly to the token events like Merrick and Jesse and all that, in that as you duel NPC duelists, you win these dice fragments. And the dice fragments are what you use to progress through the game. So, in addition to dueling NPC duelists, legendaries, yada yada yada. You also get 15 dice fragments just for going into the event area first time each day. Now, basically, the way that the event progresses is that you spend some amount of the dice fragments, in this case 7 dice fragments, to roll a die, and you then get to move forward 1, 2, or 3 spaces, depending on what comes up. At specific intervals, you will hit these special characters with the stop. No matter what you roll, your little player marker will immediately stop right there, and you will start a duel, like a sort of story mode duel, against that character with a deck themed around what they used in their corresponding duel in the anime, which is all very cool. Now, once you get all the way to the end and you beat the duelist at the end of the path, you move on to the next map, and this cycle continues until you've progressed through all 5 maps, at which point you get your final map reward, and you restart from the beginning and get to go through all over again with a different set of rewards. So, in this case, once the game loads the reward list, come on please. I don't know why it's taking so long. Oh, okay, apparently my Wi-Fi broke. Hold on just a second, I'll be right back as soon as that comes back to me. Okay, I'm back, and this is actually the next night after I recorded that bit before the whole internet connection went out. Yeah, I messed with my router, I messed with my modem, I have no idea what went on, but my whole internet connection just went kaput for that entire night, and I said, forget it, I'll record it tomorrow. So, this is what I was trying to load up. This is the rewards list for the event, and this will show you the rewards that you get for completing each of the individual maps. Now, I was a little bit wrong. I said that there were 5 maps before the event resets. There's actually only 4. There's the first round, the second round, the semi-final, and the final. And, as you can probably see, for clearing this first round map, I'll get 20 gems. For clearing the second round, I'll get a copy of 1,000 Needles. And the next map will give me 30 gems. The map after that will give me Fusion Sword Murasame Blade. And then it repeats. And then I'll get these 4 sets of rewards, these 4 sets of rewards, these 4 set, and this 4 set. And then for the 6th through 10th time you go through the event, the only rewards you will get will be 4,000 gold for clearing it every single time, or clearing it all the way, I should say. And then when you play through it on round 11, round 12, round 13, and so on, there's just no more rewards for going through it. So, at least no rewards for clearing it all the time. Now, one thing I want to bring up really quick is that for anybody who's particularly new to the game and is trying to put together a farming deck, do your best to beat this map, or to beat this event twice through, because this is a very good card for many farming decks, Anti-Magic Arrows. It basically says your opponent can't use spell and trap cards for the rest your opponent can't use spell and trap cards during your battle phase of this turn, and your opponent cannot activate any effects in response to activating anti-magic arrows. So for any deck that you have built where you're building power and you try to empty your deck entirely to score as many points, obviously you don't want your one big final attack to be stopped. So the idea is that you have an anti-magic arrow card in your deck, you save it until the end, you play it during the battle phase, and the AI can't do anything, and it just lets you whack them in the face for victory. So this is the card that you can normally only get by beating Arcana as a loot drop. So considering he's not going to be showing up for a couple of weeks at the gate, this is a good chance to get your hands on a copy, which one is really all you need for a farming deck. Just wanted to bring that up. Now, in addition to the rewards you get for completing each map and each round and whatever, the game also has a card lottery for the event. Now, normally you have to land on spaces such as these to get Millennium Coins, which you then spend in the lottery. Additionally, you also get Millennium Coins for beating the story mode duelists, but you spend those in the lottery to basically draw out a whole bunch of cards. The entire reward list for the lottery is consistent of this, and it looks like I actually made some updates to this, which is nice. It actually tells you how many copies of that card you have in your possession. So the skilled Blue Magician, for example, because he was new and he was introduced in this event itself, obviously I don't have any. But I can see that I already have 2 anti-magic arrows, I have 5 Kuriboh, I have a Dark Hunter, I have 3 Multiply, and so on. So these are all the cards that you can win, but in addition to the cards, you can also get some amount of gems, you can also get some gold, some gate keys, even some of these EX jewels that you can use with the card trader EX, who has actually shown up outside. Now, another thing that they've done, which is actually kind of a nice addition, is in all previous incarnations of events like these, you had to get Millennium Coins to pull a prize out of the lottery, and the rate is 30 coins for every 1 prize. What they've done with this event is that each day you get to do a free draw 10 just for the hell of it. So let's go ahead and see what I can get for my first 10 prizes. So I got a bunch of common cards, I got some amount of gold, and I got a decent amount of green gate keys. Specifically, I've got Portrait Secret, which is not too terrible of a fiend. This Tactical Espionage Expert, who's got a decent effect, kind of low stats. Swordsman of Landstar, which is not that great of a card. Total of 900 gold, 5 green gate keys, and Virus Cannon. So, yeah, that's basically how the lottery works. It's really nice that they've given you that free 10 draws each day, because Millennium Coins can be a bit of a pain to get, primarily just because this style of event, the Duelist Chronicles events where you proceed down a board, they tend to take a while to play through. So, I'm actually going to go ahead and play through a little bit of the event right now. We're going to I will go ahead and explain the event as I hit specific spaces, and in this case I got a support item at 3 dice, which basically means that if I so want, I could go ahead and use, oh, that's a new one, the Divine Offerings item. I've never seen this one before. It's not available yet, so I'm not going to concern myself with it too much, but basically you are going to typically get a 1 die, a 2 die, or a 3 die from the support item spaces. I cannot talk tonight. And their effects really can't be any simpler. You use them, you move forward that many spaces guaranteed. So if there's a space that you want to land on, such as one of these treasure spaces, or if you want to try and get some Millennium Coins, and you have the correct number of support item, just go ahead and use it. So I'm not using my 3 space because no matter what I roll, I would have to stop and fight Yamabukura. And the event has a little bit of text, kind of, again, referencing the arc of the anime that it's based on. I'm not going to read it, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of click through it. If you don't want to read it, or you don't really care, there are fast forward and skip to end buttons right there. So if you are in it for the nostalgia trip, go ahead and read through the text boxes once, maybe twice. But if all you're really interested in is just getting as many Millennium Coins as you can to get as many prizes as you can, feel free to hit the skip button every single time. You're not missing anything. And the game gives you a choice of 2 different difficulty levels for your opponent. You can either go to level 20 or to level 40, with obviously the higher difficulties giving you more Millennium Coins. In addition to the difficulty you can set, each event Duelist also has 3 sort of bonus objectives, which again are in reference to the events that went down in the anime that particular duel is based on. So in this case, I would have to use Yami-Yugi to defeat Yamabukura, which would get me 15 more Millennium Coins. I would have to win a duel with Slifer the Sky Dragon in my deck. I don't have to use them, I just have to have them in my deck. And I have to achieve a no damage win. So these can be good ways of getting extra Millennium Coins. The downside is that you will typically have to create a new deck for each Duelist, and that can get somewhat tedious at times. So for this first run through, I'm not going to concern myself with getting every single bonus objective that pops up. I mean, some of them you can, like the no damage wins. Others might be destroy X amount of monsters or anything, or something like that. So you can get some bonuses by not playing along with the theming of the event. But if you do, you can get your hands on some more coins, which can mean more prizes. Now I did see that... Okay, that's good to know. In this event, Yamabukura has his skill active, which is Destiny Board of Doom. So he starts with a Dark Necrophere in his graveyard, and I believe it's at the end of each of his turns, a letter is added from the Destiny Board trap, which will gradually... which... in the anime, it was this whole thing where it was like a countdown to when Bakura would just win the duel automatically. But long story short, if you don't remove the Dark Necrophere from his graveyard or win after 5 of his turns, you automatically lose. So, considering that, I'm going to go ahead and set Terra, hoping he will attack it and bounce his own monster back, which he will, and he hurts himself in the process. So his entire... Yep, there it is. There's the first letter. So, I'm going to... Is it worth summoning Storko? Because if I activate my skill and give all of my monsters a 100-point attack boost, that would be 2,000, 1,100, and... Actually, yes, it would. So, oh wait, no, I can't. I'd have to... Okay. I'm going to do it just to deal as much damage as I can to Bakura. I'm going to use the Tie That Binds, which gives each of my monsters 100 attack points for each monster I control. I'm going to go to the battle phase. I'm going to activate the Arrival spell, which allows me to normal summon one of the Starikos, or however you pronounce that, from my hand. Almost ended my turn because I'm not paying attention. I'm going to hit him with everything to lower his life points as much as I can. Alright, now I only have to deal 400 points. And he's starting to hide. Great. Hera, perfect. Tribute to Storko. And put Terra back in defense mode. I know I'm probably butchering these dinosaur names, but I don't care. And I won. Cool. So... Oh, and I actually got the no damage win, so I'm going to get 165 Millennium Coins. Perfect. As you noticed, you also got a cool, unique background to the event. They will typically do this from time to time with certain events. They'll create a unique 3D background instead of just the kind of digital effect that normal duels have. There's no way to turn it off, and it does turn off your own game mat. But at the same time, it looks pretty cool, and it only persists when you're dueling in the event. So if you don't like it, tough, I guess, but it doesn't really detract from the event, I would say. So I'm just going to roll the die again, and I got a 3. So the next kind of space that I land on is I believe they're called chapter spaces, but basically this engages the closest that the game can do to a cutscene. And again, much like everything else, it's in direct reference to the episodes of the anime. And it's interesting that they have a basic Merrick image, because that wasn't Yami Merrick, and I didn't get it on camera, but at the end of the Yami Merrick Returns event, there was kind of a shadowed version of that Merrick sprite. So could Merrick be the new regular Merrick be the new Duelist that's coming to Duel World? Or Duel Links, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Because the game, I don't know. I don't know if, the world that you play in is called Duel Links, or if it's just called Duel World. I just keep calling it Duel World just because I'm used to that. But you get the idea. He's coming to the game. There you go. So, again, all reference to what went on with the anime, where Odeon, pretending to be Merrick, tried to trick Yugi into not attacking Bakura to win, and basically Dark Bakura sort of retook control of Bakura for some reason or another. And I wasn't really paying attention to the scene, as you might have been able to tell. But another new addition is that you can go to the scene album and rewatch any of these scenes if you want. And the scene space has remained, but it will now show the next big story event from that arc of the anime, and these spaces will continue to appear until you get all the way to the end. They will give you prizes for landing on them, but after you've gotten all the scenes, previously I think they were just a blank space that didn't do anything, but they may change into some other kind of space in this event. I'm getting a 1, so I'm landing on a treasure space next, which means I get a random goodie, in this case 2,500 gold. And the last kind of space to really describe is probably these movement spaces, which I happen to land on, which simply just kick you forward 2 spaces, or however many spaces they indicate, and you still get the event of whatever space you landed on. In that case, I got 10 coins. Now, in the case of this space, which again, somehow I magically land on, so I think I hit every single space of interest, or every single variety of space that can possibly be in the event. This is kind of a bonus duel. They don't have bonus objectives. They give you Millennium Coins for winning and losing, I believe. But I don't really like them just because, well, maybe they changed it for this event. I will relent that. But they have, in previous versions of this sort of Duelist Chronicles event, not only is it the Vagabond that you're dueling, but sometimes it's just random NPCs. And I don't know about anybody else who's played this game, but I have a horrible case of RNG where I seem to hit every single one in my path, and all they seem to ever really do is just slow you down. Come on, attack. Yep, now my deck is probably going to be utterly annihilated by this, simply because this is the Vagabond, and he's probably using some overpowered metagame deck. And you know what, at this point I'm just going to hit auto duel because I literally don't care. Yep, like I said, broken metagame deck. Okay, well, that's that. Thankfully the Vagabond spaces don't tend to go on very long just because I tend to lose, but that's besides the point. Because of the 1.5 experience campaign, Jesse still got 1.5k experience. I still got 1,500 gold. And you still get 30 Millennium Coins, which is one single prize out of the lottery. So, let's keep going on. Next we're dueling Odeon, who I believe is masquerading to be Merrick. I'm going to let the text go through again, just in case anybody's interested in reading it. Again, I usually pick level 40 just because I want as many Millennium Coins as I can. And in this case for Odeon, use Joey Wheeler to get 15 coins, use trap cards 3 times, and use spell cards 3 times. Again, I typically have to create a very specific deck and or draw out the duel to try and get all 3 objectives, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with trying to get each objective every single time. But in previous events, that did make me lose quite a few times, and again, it just slowed down this fairly long event as is, so I'm not doing it. At least not on camera. I may do it in my off time. If I do, I will try to show off whatever decks I come up with for you to use, if that makes sense. But actually, no, I can do more damage. If I flip Storko into attack mode, give him 100 extra points, attack directly, activate Arrival Rivals, tribute Storko for a Hera, and have Hera attack. Alright. Odeon's still not doing anything. I have no idea if he's just got a bad hand or what, but I'm just going to go ahead and win, so we can continue on. I don't know if I'm going to show off the entirety of the... Well... You know, I'm a bit peeved that the internet went out when I tried to record this episode yesterday, so... Oh, what was that? I'm so used to getting just golden gate keys and stuff that I accidentally skipped through that stuff. What was that? Right, yeah, I cleared the first map, so I got 20 gems. And we're on to the next part of the event. So yeah, these are the spaces that I'm talking about. These are just kind of obnoxious because all they really do is slow down. Thankfully, it does seem like there's fewer of them on this during this event than there were previously, which I really don't mind. And you know what, just because I... dang it. Yeah, I don't know what those divine offerings do. Apparently they unlock on May 2nd. And you do have until May 6th to make the most out of this event as you can. So there is that, at least. I'm trying to just... Again, I'm keeping the dialogue in so that anybody who's interested can read it. This is the scene when basically Odeon, or Merrick's dark side, showed up. Odeon revealed who the real Merrick is, which to anybody that had been watching the anime would not have seen that as much of a surprise. Shizu's still sitting in her room moaning about Destiny. And we get to move on. And I get some more coins. I'm happy with that. Basically, I'm happy with any space so long as it's not the Vagabond or an NPC. Alright. So, assuming one of the objectives is when using, or use My Valentine. I'm trying to think what the other two would be. I doubt they'd come up with something as convoluted as steal Merrick's Egyptian God card, which actually did happen in the anime and was kind of badass of Mai to do. Oh, it's use the Winged Dragon of Ra once and do a tribute summon once. So, spoiler alert for the original series of the anime, pretty much what Mai did. Oh wait, no. Oh, okay, you're dueling against Mai, and you take this, and you're taking the space of Yami Merrick? I don't know why that didn't click to me, considering it's Mai's icon on the board. Huh, okay. Oh, that's different. Typically you play as the good character. As the protagonist character. Yeah, whatever. Oh, goody, I hate that spell. Oh, good thing I've got something to deal with it. A couple of somethings, actually. So, Amazonas Village basically makes all of her Amazonas monsters stronger, and once per turn, whenever you destroy one in battle, she gets to just special summon one out of her deck to replace it, which gets kind of annoying. I'm going to let her destroy Terra so that I can special summon Hera. Oh yeah, Terra's going to send the Amazon back to her hand. I'm going to summon Hera, and then I'm going to use Typhoon to destroy Amazonas Village. Don't get a monster, so I'm just going to use my skill to power up Hera and attack her in the face. Come on. Still no monster, but I'll go ahead and set half counter just to have it. Everyone attacks. Destroys the paladin. So that means that if the character at the end of this board is a Shizu, then the next set of events, or the next set of objectives would be to play as Kaiba. But interestingly, they can't ask you to summon Obelisk the Tormentor because they haven't actually released Obelisk in the game yet. As far as I know, I don't think I would have missed it, considering I've at least opened the game every day for pretty much the past year. I got some more of those weird divine offerings. I'm really curious what those do. Hey, but I did a tribute summon at least. Okay, do I have a 2? I still don't have a 2. Okay. Now, you know what? To keep this video moving along, I'm going to go ahead and burn a 1 dice right now. I'm going to move forward, and then I'm going to use the move forward 2 to jump past the NPC. Get some more coins in the process. And the game decided to be benevolent and give me a 3. Alright. My guess is use Kaiba, perform a tribute summon, and use some trap guards. Use Kaiba, summon Blue Eyes White Dragon, and inflict 3,000 or more points of battle damage with a single attack. That last one is possible with my deck if I'm able to summon Jirak Titano and somehow attack directly with it, because its effect does let me banish a weaker Jirak out of my graveyard to give it 1,000 extra attack. The catch, obviously, is I have to find it and then sacrifice 2 monsters to summon it. So, this is actually a god-awful starting hand because I can't summon anything. And pretty much all of my traps require me to have a monster. So, I'm going to get pretty beat up here. And depending on what the deck decides to give me next... It's an Iguanon. Okay. Or no. Iguanon, I think. Let's activate skill, make you a little stronger. And let's go for Keldo, just because it's the weaker of the 2. And it won't do anything, but I'll go ahead and use Iguanon's effect to send one of her face-down cards back to her hand. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing these cards' names to all hell and back, but you guys know what I'm talking about, so it doesn't matter. Oh, she's trying to kamikaze attack, so I'm going to use Spike Shield with Chain to make... Actually, I should have waited. Or do I go in? Yeah, I'll go in. And I'll use half counter to gain half of that thing's attack power. Use him to send the set card right back to her hand. And set Starco. Hopefully she will be stupid and attack it. And I should have activated Ties the Bind to deal 200 extra damage. Okay. I will send away... Target ant clip spelling your graveyard, one appropriate monster on the field. Propelling into a fairy, it gains 500 life, 500 attack. Or I'm going to get rid of that. Because I've been caught off guard by... Oh. Never mind. I was expecting her to do something more than that, but I was expecting her to like try and attack my face down or put a monster in defense mode, but I guess she didn't have any. So there we go. That is board 2 done. Alright. So this one, alright, this is going to be use Yugi to beat Joey, or no, use Merrick to beat Joey, and then use Yugi to beat Kaiba. Thank goodness I skip over the Vagabond. Keep rolling a die. I would auto-duel, but the AI does not seem particularly competent at using this Dirac deck that I've thrown together. So I'm just going to keep manually dueling through all of this. I will probably start clicking through the text a little bit faster, so be a little bit more precise with your pausing of the video if you want to read what it says. So again, level 40, use Merrick, probably use Lava Golem and do 1500 or more points of effect damage, which is kind of what Merrick's all about. So this would be a pretty easy deck to design with, or to design around with Merrick. I mean, his own effect, or one of the first abilities you get with him, Shadow Game or whatever it's called, literally does a few hundred points of effect damage to your opponent at the end of their turn. Specifically, however many cards they have in their graveyard times 100. So, okay, as I want to finish this as quickly as possible, I'm going to go on the offensive. Use Ties to Bind, power up my dinosaur, go to the battle phase, use Rivals, summon another one, use the weaker one to attack, use the stronger one to hit. See what he does. He does nothing. I feel like I'm getting quite lucky with my opponent's hand draws, which I am not complaining about. There we go. Okie dokie. And sudden tone shift with the music. I don't care. I'm going to burn my 3 dice to get past this other NPC, just because I really don't want to deal with these guys right now. Gonna get some more coins. Roll the die again. And the game's being particularly kind to me. I wonder if you can tell that I'm recording. So, let's see. Probably, obviously use Yugi. Summon Slifer? Maybe? I'm trying to remember what happened in this duel in the anime. Because I'm pretty sure Yugi did summon Slifer. I can't remember what else he did. Oh, it's not even summon Slifer. It's summon Dark Paladin and summon Red Eyes Black Dragon. Ugh, that's gonna be a nightmare of a deck to try to design about, to try and create, so I know I keep saying it, but the bonus objectives are exactly that, just bonus objectives. If you want, go ahead and just make a particularly good deck with what seems to be the main 3 characters you're going to use. Yami Yugi, Joey, well actually no, Yami Yugi, Yami Merrick seem to be the 2 that keep popping up as cards you would use, or not cards, characters you would use. Let's see, we've also seen me use Joey and use Kaiba. So if you want to just make an extra 15 coins with each, just make a good deck with each of them, and just duel that way. Go ahead. You may lose Terra, but you don't get to keep your X-head cannon. And I didn't get to draw a monster, so that might have actually been a stupid move. I probably should have used Gravity Lash, because then Hera's defense would be too much for X-head cannon to try and get past. Monster, please. Okay, that's technically what I asked for, but not what I needed. Okay. And I lose now. So I'm just going to turn that off so the game will stop asking me. And we actually get to see what happens if you lose one of these story-related duels. And the big dramatic penalty for losing is you don't get that much stuff, and you get pushed back a space. That's it. So, don't be afraid of losing. There's really no penalty other than making you use 7 more dice fragments to move forward another space. All it really does. I am curious about the next map, though, because usually these Duelist Chronicles events have 2 story duels per map, but the only duel left from this arc that I can really think of is obviously Yami Merrick versus Yami Yugi. So I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that's going to be the only duel that's on the final map. Alright. This time I am not going to be stupid. Actually, I don't have to use Gravity Lash because their attack is equal to Terra's defense, so they don't destroy it. Terra gets to bounce it. Probably should have used... Yeah, I kind of did a little bit of a misplay there. But, oh well. I'll actually go ahead and switch Terra into attack mode. Terra goes after the Machina Peacekeeper, and he's going to teleport it away, so it's safe. Terra's not going to attack, because it would die to the metal tank. You can attack. And what exactly do you do again? When this card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 new monster from your deck to your hand. Okay. Okay. I'm going to use Arrival Rivals to tribute Terra and summon Hera. There we go. So he's now going to keep attacking. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that it works that way. I thought... Well, technically, the number of monsters on my field didn't change. Just what monster I did have changed. So basically... so there's a rule in this game called replay, which basically means that if you're in the middle of an attack, and I think it's just the number of monsters your opponent controls changes mid-attack, you have the opportunity to either call off your attack entirely or change the target of your attack. No, go ahead, destroy that. I want you to destroy that. Now, I thought that replay, and basically the purpose of replay is so that if you declare an attack and your opponent special summons something big, you have a chance to save yourself from basically hitting yourself in the face by attacking something that's more powerful than you. But I thought replay would happen whenever the types of monsters on your opponent's field changed, not just the number, but I guess I was wrong. That or the AI just decided to do something really, really stupid and attack anyway. So, there we go. That's that duel done. We're on to the final map. Hopefully this video is not dragging out too long, but I've come this far. I might as well show off all the bonus objectives and a little hint of what everybody's deck is kind of like, so that anybody who's watching has a little bit of a better idea as to how to design whatever sort of farming decks they want to use in this event. Alright, so obviously we're going to have Yugi versus Merrick. Oh, okay, it's 2 rounds of Yugi versus Merrick. Alright, I was not expecting that. Of course, NPC. You're level 17, I'm just going to auto-duel you because I don't care. While that's going on, I'm going to try and rack my brain. Let's see, I've covered the map rewards, the card lottery, bonus objectives, mining coins. Yeah, I guess on May 2nd, whenever those Divine Blessing things become available to use, I'll make another video detailing what those are like. Hopefully I'll have created at least some, maybe not perfect farming decks that would be able to achieve all 3 objectives, but at least some half-decent decks for Yugi, Merrick, Joey, and Kaiba, so that you can at least get an extra 15 coins out of each duel. Because those do add up over time. And I mean, I'm almost done with one way through and I've already got 1,000 coins. To put that into perspective, that's enough for over 30 things out of the lottery. So, getting Millennium Coins is not that difficult. It's just the amount of time you'll have to put in to get said coins that can get kind of tiresome. So, I'm very confused. Why did they do two iterations of Yugi versus Merrick? I know the duel went on for a few episodes, but didn't can't remember if anything really big all that happened. I mean, sure, Yugi fought Ra, but use Yami Yugi, use Select the Sky Dragon, use 5 spell cards. That's doable. Probably difficult depending on what sort of obnoxious deck they decided to give Merrick, but doable. And I did notice that he does have his Shadow Game skills, so every card that I have in my graveyard will deal damage to me at the end of his turn. Set this to on just because I want to try something. Nope, still doesn't like a chain. Okay. I had noticed that when I left this thing on auto, I could always only special summon 1 Hera whenever my Storiko was destroyed, or any of my defense position Jiracs were destroyed. So I was wondering if maybe turning it to on would let me chain 1 Hera's effect to the other, but I guess by that point, the previous effect in the chain would have been special summoning a monster, not a defense position Jirac was destroyed. And it's not that big of a deal anyway, because I could just tribute the other token for it. I still have 1 in my hand. I'm going to go ahead and activate the skill, giving them 2,500 attack points. You can attack, and you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead, use a Gravity Lash, make the Gilgar super weak just to hit Merrick even harder. 1,900 damage. And not worth burning my other Gravity Lash, so I'll save it just in case he decides to do something sneaky. And actually he loses, because his turn's going to end. He's going to do... Oh no, he has Powerful Rebirth, so he managed to empty his graveyard just in time. Okay. Oh. Look at this, Merrick. You now have 3 cards in your graveyard. There's no way you can get rid of that trap card. So, yep, he ends his turn. He's going to take damage from his own Duelist ability, and I win. Cool. So, I guess in a way that would make Merrick a little bit difficult to get all 3 bonus objectives on, just because you can't really, like, the longer the duel goes on, the more damage he's going to take from his own effect. So unless you use cards like Pot of Benevolence to empty his own graveyard back into his deck. Oh, come on. Okay. You know, just to save time, because this is probably already creeping up on about an hour, I'm just going to go ahead and cut from here and come back in at when I get to the final Yami Merrick space. So, be right back again. Hopefully it doesn't take me another real-life day to get this final part of the episode, but we'll see. Okay, here seems like pretty much as good a place as any to come back in. No matter what I roll, I'm going to land on the final space. We're going to start this duel with Merrick. So, together with Summon Slifer and use a bunch of spells. Trying to think. I know I'm being silent, but at this point I'm just kind of waiting for the game to finish talking. Use Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl. You know what? That's actually a fairly viable deck to use with Yami Yugi anyway. So, the only downside is I'm expecting him to have a very annoying Duelist ability. Please do not have the ability that I think you do. Okay, good. He just said Shadow Game. Whew. I was concerned because the level 50 Merrick from his event actually has an ability where he starts with a monster called, and I quote, Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode on his field. And that monster's effect basically lets him tribute it to Special Summon Ra with 4,000 attack points. So by starting with it on his field, he will always get Ra first turn, it will always have 4,000 attack points, and he will probably burn some of his own life points to blow up your own monsters, and basically just then one-shot you with Ra. So, kinda sucks. I'm gonna get a little bit aggressive with Terra here. Just to, I keep dragging the camera. Just because I know I have Gravity Lash and half counter that I can use to start to deal with whatever he summons. Oh, goody. Do not have double summon. Okay. It just says that. I'm going to use half counter, just because this will stop the attack of all 3, whereas Gravity Lash would only stop 1. Now, I can't attack with Terra, but I can now sacrifice, or tribute it to summon Hera. I'm not going to use Gravity Lash to weaken a Disciple. I'm just going to boost Hera with my ability, and then just take out another one. Yeah, pretty sure that this deck of Merrick's is going to be all about trying to get a bunch of monsters on the field to summon Ra. So I would assume the main strategy is don't let him have 3 monsters on the field at the start of his turn. And tie the binds. Battle mode, attack the Geroids so that I can do some more damage. Let's see, what's he going to do next? A Gilgarth. I can deal with that. I can say Gravity Lash. Drop the Gilgarth to 600. That would do 900 and I win. Perfect. Alright. So that's a preview of all the bonus objectives and all the duelists that you will be dueling through over the course of the event. And much like I mentioned pretty much an hour ago now, sorry for the really long episode. Like I said, it's a long event. Like I said an hour ago, once you complete all the zones, you get one more bonus. and you're put right back at the beginning to go through it all over again, and again, and again, for as many times as you can spend dice fragments. So let's not let the video end just yet. Let's go ahead and draw another 10 out of the lottery, see what I can get. I got an EX Jewel, I got a couple of rares it looks like, all ones that I think I have. Oh no, I was missing a Dark Hunter, that's actually kind of cool. Here's one more thing, one more hint I want to show off. This. See the lightning crackling around it? Whenever you see that, you know you've gotten one of these super rare rewards. Now whether that's something you actually need, or if it's a duplicate like this freaking Horn of the Unicorn, remains to be seen. In case anybody's curious why I'm mad that I got a Horn of the Unicorn and it's super rare. I'm mad because this thing has been a possible lottery reward pretty much since they started doing these Duelist Chronicles events. And at one point I had 16 of them. Now granted, that did become a lot of super rare jewels, but that was also meant that I wasn't getting other super rare cards or other ultra rare cards. So I have a bit of a grudge against this card. But it looks like I got another anti-magic arrows, so this is another way you can get this card. There's this Kaiser Dragon, which might actually not be that bad of a fusion monster if you're still new to the game. But let's go ahead and grab another 10. Just why not? We're here. I'm not getting anything valuable, but I did get some more EX gems. Ooh, they give you sets of 5. That's cool. Alright. And because I can, this is the Card Trader EX. He's all gold and shiny. And these are the cards that he has available. Typically, they are going to be the same cards that you can get from the event. They are he's sort of meant as a means for you to definitely get a copy of a card if the event's RNG just really doesn't want to give it to you. But sometimes he will have different cards available, like cards that are not related to the event at all. But as I mentioned, I'm pretty sure you can only buy each of these once. So, you know, spend your EX jewels wisely. Like I mentioned in the Card Trader video, I will typically just hoard my EX gems through the entirety of the event and then spend them all at the end. Just so that way, if there is one that costs like 200 or 300 EX gems, this way I know, alright, this is the most I have to spend, and I don't have to kick myself over having already spent 50, and then when the end of the event comes, I find out that I have 160. So I could have afforded that 201 if I had just waited. But anyway, that's besides the point. This video has been going on for almost an hour, and I was not expecting it to. I did not think I would go through all the maps. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all had a great time, and I hope you all have a great day. I will see you all in the next episode, and farewell for now.